Teach me to dance, will you?
Did you say dance? Come on, my boy.
For most of his life, Anthony Quinn spoke freely about Hollywood legends. He laughed easily, told stories without hesitation, and reflected on the past with an open heart. But there was always one name that changed everything: Charles Bronson. Whenever Bronson came up, Quinn would pause, the laughter would fade, and a long silence followed. Years later, when Quinn finally spoke about him directly, he didn't offer praise or criticism. What he shared was quieter and far more revealing, something that cracked the image Hollywood had carefully built around Bronson. Anthony Quinn's own life began far from glamour. Born in Chihuahua, Mexico, during the Mexican Revolution, he entered the world surrounded by real gunfire. His parents were active participants in the conflict alongside Pancho Villa, and when the danger became too great, they fled north to the United States. Settling in California brought safety but not comfort. The family lived as migrant workers, moving between farming regions, and by the time Quinn was 5, he was already laboring in the fields for pennies. Those years of exhaustion and humiliation stayed with him forever, shaping his view of strength, survival, and identity. Caught between cultures, Quinn never fully belonged to one world or the other. His name distanced him from Mexican communities, while his heritage separated him from mainstream America. So he chose a different path, declaring himself a citizen of the world and later saying, "Acting is my nationality." That belief carried him through a difficult early career marked by discrimination, small roles, and personal tragedy, including the devastating loss of his young son. Despite setbacks, Quinn's hunger for expression never faded. He trained relentlessly, studied art and music, boxed professionally, and eventually found his way onto stage and screen. Success came slowly, but when it arrived, it was undeniable. From his Oscar-winning performances to his iconic role as Zorba the Greek, Quinn became a force of nature, embodying characters who lived loudly and refused to surrender to despair. It was that shared understanding of hardship that shaped how Quinn saw Charles Bronson. While the public viewed Bronson as cold and unbreakable, Quinn recognized something deeper. He believed Bronson's silence carried the weight of a life built on survival, hunger, and mistrust. His toughness wasn't performance, but protection. To Quinn, Bronson's restraint was intelligence, his stillness a kind of power. He didn't dominate scenes with words, but with presence. Quinn never tried to mythologize Bronson or tear him down. Instead, he offered quiet respect, seeing in him another survivor shaped by a world that demanded strength at all costs. In the end, Quinn's words weren't about rivalry or scandal. They were about recognition. One man who had lived through struggle acknowledging another who carried that same history into every frame of film he ever touched.